Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Train of Thought podcast. This is your host, Tahir. Today's topic will be, can a cheater change? I like this topic because I feel like I've helped a few couples from my business, Resolve Coaching, be sure to check it out, where in terms of getting to that path that they can be together again, find the root of the cause of the issues from the past and see if it's tangible for the relationship to come together. So let's talk about it. Cheating. The change is possible, but it's not automatic, right? So if the cheater can work on the internal cause as to why they did what they did, growth is possible. But if they don't, the same patterns can repeat itself in the current or a new relationship, right? So here's some red flags or red flag signs first to see if they are like changing or not. Because one thing a cheater will do first is pour out richly words. I'm sorry, never happen again. Forgive me, it was a weak moment, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of like, you're torn between believing the words and seeing the action of what had happened, right? So be mindful of these red flags first before you even try to process the thought of forgiving. So the red flag first is they try to guilt trip you. Meaning like, that was so long ago, or hey, like, just forgive me, it was, again, a mistake, right? Or, oh, like, you weren't giving me attention, that's what for somewhere else, So the first thing is guilt tripping, not taking accountability at all. They just straight guilt trip you. Next is minimizing what happened. Oh, like, I was just drunk. Like, oh, like, everybody cheats. Because that's the next thing. Cheating has become a normality these days. But that's another topic. We'll get into another time. But just minimizing what happened, because again, it's not damaging them, it's only damaging you as a victim, right? So they minimize what happened, so that's also a red flag. Another one is also expecting forgiveness without doing the work. So they've said the paragraph of apology, said a whole lecture to you as to why, they're sorry, and the next day, boom, try to get back to kissing you like nothing happened, right? So those are some key red flags to look out for in terms of processing the chance of forgiving this person, right? If those are some key things you've seen, just leave. Because I'm telling you, like, he's not gonna really do the work. He's just saying a whole hocus pocus and hoping you'll forget in due time. Okay, so here are some signs of change now. All right, so for the person who got cheated on, I want to just say again, forgiveness is a choice, it's not an obligation, right? If you have the patience and grace, you can give it a chance, like in terms of, okay, like we've built, again, people kind of become attached to the person, depends on how long you guys have been together, how well you guys know each other. Even one thing I've learned with long-term couples, they've told me it's hard to kind of move on or detach themselves because of the family they've made, in terms of like, I know your mom, my dad, we have each other's numbers. So sometimes they don't want to even pull the strings. They want to stay close, even though there's been major hiccups in the relationship, right? But I will truly say, like, if you truly can oversee the action of cheating, it will take a lot of patience and grace. Again, healing takes time to process. I've learned that you can't rush someone's time on that. Although it may be months to years have passed, it could still be fresh to that person. So you have to give time. But one thing I will say though, as a person who is cheated on, you can't, once you've like forgiven to a degree, you can't like throw it in their face, because then that's confusion. You know, like if they've really put in the work to change and have done the actions, the lifestyle change, everything, and you're still bringing it up, then you at that point you should leave, because it's come to a point where you can't fully functionally process things, and you're gonna have a resentment in a relationship for a long time. So if you see those factors in yourself, you have to leave as well. It's gonna be confusing to the person who's putting the work to redeem themselves, right? So another sign of change would be the person needs to show full accountability, right? In terms of being transparent as to, again, what they did, what it was wrong, they've accepted that it's wrong, come to terms with it, and are now trying to do better for themselves and for the relationship, right? I feel like sometimes cheaters don't go to the root cause as to why they may have done it. It might either be influence of friends, their mindset, their emotional level in the relationship at the time, where, and this is the one thing I've realized, some people cheat at a latter part of the relationship when they're emotionally drained, like they're almost out of it, but they might just do that cheating as to kind of like make you a forgetful thought now, to finally like put the nail in the coffin and say, okay, like, yeah, I don't care, you know? So find the root cause of why they cheated is very important, because that will see if there's even a potential to go forward with forgiveness. Because if they did it out of spite or that they don't really care anymore, that's not even somebody you should even try to mend things with. It's over. You know, you're just a waste of your time. If anything, that might just stay because of history. You know, so that's something to definitely look into for sure. But addressing the root cause is important, where you're looking for solutions either through therapy or a lifestyle change. Let's say that person you might have dated was a club promoter, right? For a girl, like you're dating a club promoter. His lifestyle will always have a ton of temptations. So even if he does ask for forgiveness, you would be on the fence of forgiving him because he's around the same environment or one of the same causes as to why he cheated. That's somebody I wouldn't go back for. You know, vice versa. Guys, if she cheated because you weren't there for her in terms of like presence and quality time, when she knows you have a job that is hourly demanding, it doesn't make sense to redeem things with her too, because you're still in the same job, and she will always, that emotions might come back forth again. So it doesn't make sense to try to mend things, you know? So therapy and lifestyle changes are two key factors into solving the root cause of cheating. And next is also showing patience to your healing. Like, okay, so for this one, it's sometimes the cheaters try to like rush in to say, hey, like, just forgive me, trust me again. Come on, like a broken vase will never be the same. You can glue it together, but it's not gonna look as beautiful as it was before, right? So once cheating has happened, the trust is never the same, for sure. You can try to regain some ounce of trust, but it'll never be 100%. And honestly, too, side note, you shouldn't trust somebody 100%, regardless, married, loved, I'm sorry, like it should be maybe like 90 to 95, high, but you don't want to be super naive, you know? There's a little bit of self-awareness, I think, though. But as the person who cheated, you shouldn't be demanding for trust. Again, you should have patience towards them as they have patience towards you for that journey. Because now you're going to be on a journey of trying to get back to where you were, or honestly more, because where you were caused the cheating, right? So you have to get higher. So there needs to be patience on both sides, where as a cheater, I'm patiently giving you grace as well to heal and process things as we go on this journey to get back to a pure-hearted love. Vice versa, as a person who got cheated on, I need to forgive you and see the process of your working on yourself and trying to be the person that you said you are for me, right? But the key factor to this, to wrap everything up, I would say, is their actions must align with their words. Words can be empty without value of the action, right? So I think just because someone say they're sorry, they need to show it as well. What are you going to change for me to forgive you? The only thing I don't like is the overcompensation, where it doesn't feel authentic in a relationship anymore, where like, let's say you're overcompensating for your location or the things you're doing, or oversaturating phone calls. No, it wasn't where relationship was before. Now, I understand you might have to do that to kind of gain back some trust and transparency, but the relationship should be, again, genuinely authentic, where the trust is being built back up, but you guys have an understanding where I respect your space, you respect my space. So again, I want you guys to also keep in mind that the actions must align with the words to fully think or come to terms that a cheater can change. If they're still doing the root cause, let's say your partner cheated on you through Snapchat. They're asking forgiveness when they still have Snapchat. You get what I'm saying? That should be deleted before you even try to ask for forgiveness, because that is a cause as to why the person cheated. Back to lifestyle. If I'm in a job, the club promoting job, I ask for forgiveness. You could forgive me, but then it's like I'm in the same temptation space that caused the cheating. So it's also awareness on both sides, where, okay, I can't ask for forgiveness if I'm still attached to the thing that caused me to cheat. Vice versa, I can't forgive if they're attached to the lifestyle that caused them to cheat on me, right? So I think also with the can cheat or change, it also comes to self-awareness with the whole situation, as maybe they can, maybe they can't, right? It comes down to some serious questions of asking, again, the root cause, where the emotional level is at, and what are we going to do to get back to where we were, but more healthier. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode. We drop every Monday and Fridays. Again, just like and subscribe. Please share with your friends. Let's get this podcast to 100 subscribers by the end of November. Thanks. Ciao.